wanna shape the new. Do you wanna come along with me? Come along with me. Do you wanna? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, get it right. Gonna keep on running, grab the fun and live it light. And tomorrow's far away, should I let the party fade? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, let us all tonight. Wanna shake the ground, wanna break away, let loose. I'm tired of waiting, gotta make that move. All the neon signs, now they shout to me and you to write our story. Wanna shape the new. Do you wanna come along with me? Come along with me. Do you wanna? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, get it right. Gonna keep on running, grab the fun and live it light. And tomorrow's far away, should I let the party fade? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, let us all tonight.
So, welcome everybody to the Goat Days of Summer timed online sale catalog review. We got Kendall Barnes with us tonight. I want to thank him, Will Chapman, and James Sanders to talk through the lots. Could be real informal. Look at the lots and give some input as to what we see as strengths for those lots. So. Get started here in just 1 second to let everybody kind of keep sharing. The time sale does start in the morning at 7 a.m. and it goes into extended bidding July the 12th at 7 p.m. So lot 1. Get ready here. Working two computers. Is WOC Onyx 2.0. So this is a Taya Onyx over a generator daughter flush that then a sort did. The Bucky retained. It's 2 straws, 1 money, stored at Bonanza or SEK. Buyer's choice as to where to get it from, but buyer responsibility for transfer and shipping fees. You know what Taya Onyx produced with Iron Horse. Have you seen it over a generator before? Anybody?
Not that I can remember.
I'm sure. I don't know 100%, but Gary Richardson looks like something he may have done once upon a time.
James, if you could talk just a little bit, I'll get the graphics fixed.
First thing, I guess something you just mentioned there, Andy, was the buyer is responsible for shipping and transfer fees on that lot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but all of the lots, the frozen lots, the buyer will be responsible for shipping and transfer fees.
That is correct.
I'd like to comment on how pretty Will's hair looks tonight.
He's got to look at it.
Just about there. 1 second.
In Will's defense, he probably, knowing who arranged this deal, he probably didn't get much of a warning that he was going to be on camera tonight.
I did not, but yeah, did better than the last time.
Yeah, we
At
worked.
least I actually got to where y'all can hear me.
Okay. So we got the graphics fixed. We're ready to
You
roll
got your
now.
name right.
Did we get it right? All right. So that's lot 1. Walk Onyx 2.0. Pay Onyx over a generator daughter. And that generator is over Iron Horse for that TMK generator Stacy. Should mix up to be pretty nice. Lot
Andy,
2.
before you get,
Yes, sir.
I just seeing your fancy hat there and my fancy hat that I got on. I think why don't we do a deal with everyone that shares this on their page to get it shares this on their page to get the word out about this sale. Will be put into a drawing and we'll send a hat to somebody.
Sounds good. I'll do a random draw.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah, on that note, I guess I should talk about this sale just real quick before we get on to lot 2. We did a sale last year, Goat Days this summer, while it was super hot. We opened it up to anyone that wanted to consign anything goat related. So that's how it started last year. Give everybody an opportunity to move some stuff that they want to move and get it out there to the public. So it looks like it's been a hit. I think we're at 65 lots or so tonight, so we'll get buzzing through those. Lot 2, 2 straws of Gotex generator. I think he's pretty familiar out there for everybody. Brings frame and size to pretty much what he's crossed on. That's lot 2. Lot 3 coming up. CVK Keepers 116, E116. This is a Goliath Keeper over ABG June flush that Kendall did with the McGills, I think.
Yep.
Again, here's 2 straws, 1 money. Anybody want to say anything?
I
Will?
mean, I built my herd on June, so I don't know if that means I got a good herd or what. But it's been pretty solid for us. We get good maternals out of the line and good fat bags. That's something
I
we
can tell you, I went to Kendall's farm, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago now, Kendall probably. And old June was there and little June was there. And a whole bunch of Junelings running around. And I remember that was the first time Kendall had ever told me that he likes his goats kind of like Angus cattle. They're just short and stout and not. You don't get paid. I forgot how he worded it, but you don't get paid much for the air between their belly and the ground. And he had a cookie cutter herd of little meat maker looking does out there, and they've obviously done a phenomenal job for him. I think this is a good example of those that CBK program.
Next lot 4, is a Walk Ajax. He's a dark horse over Terminator 2 daughter. 2 straw.
got some depth for body.
Yeah, he does.
Looks to have good bone. Looks young in the picture.
He does.
He does.
22
He's
miles.
only a year old, I think. Yeah.
Got a big old shoulder.
Yeah. So that's dark horse.
Your
which is
double
Iron
shot
Horse,
of-
out of,
Double shot of Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator 3 on the bottom. It's a GFI, which the sale we just had comes from Nancy's stuff. Double Terminator, Iron Horse, and Ozark Red Rocket. 5 is a young buck. Wing weight was 46.7 pounds. He was a twin out of the first timer, and Mr. Slappy said that he could deliver those to the AKI Carolina Classic if need be.
And just to clarify, we're selling the young buck, not semen from this young buck, correct?
That's correct. This is a live animal. We got 3 live animals, 1 buck and 2 does. So go back to his pedigree. He's a Gary Richardson Midnight Blue Sun over Tayonic. I'm familiar with that. I've got a buck, I think, out of that same line, I believe. And then it's over a Hercules, which is a 2689 Sun over Blue Sun again. So that's a heavy Blue Sun, top and bottom. Again, a young buck, just about 4 months old.
You said this was in Carrollton, Andy.
Yeah,
Slappy's.
Slappy. Greg Slappy's got this lot. And he's got the 2 does.
They are only about 2 hours south of me, so if somebody somewhere, not close by wanted to purchase this buck, I could potentially be going to West Virginia, Oklahoma for buck test pickup. I'll also be going to Indiana for cream of the crop. So if and I'll be in Carrollton for the heritage sale. So if anybody needs help with transportation on this, I could possibly assist with it.
Thank you, Will. So lot 6
Thank you, Will.
is one of the old guys, 2689. It's a Dr. Ann consignment. He's a short, stocky guy.
He was always my favorite of the 4.
I agree. Well, the favorite picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite picture of the 4, in my opinion.
I'm glad we do these reviews because that's kind of a mistake. I've got 6289's pedigree up there, but it's actually 2689 lot.
Oh.
So I'll fix that. 2 straws, 1 money.
These straws are stored in Dr. Ann's tank, correct?
These are in Dr. Ann's tanks. Yep. Stored in Dr. Ann's tanks. Lot 7. Iron Horse. 1 straw.
I've heard of this buck.
Yep. 1 straw. This is not 2 straws. It is 1 straw. Stored at Bonanza.
Pretty hot. Iron Horse pretty hot. Well, it's been pretty hot.
Just for
His
10
legs
years.
stayed in. Yeah, just for 10 years. If you need to add growth, he's the buck.
So this probably will be a popular lot. Iron Horse, Tayonics over Nicky. Lot 8. CWR Diesel. Picture of Diesel there. That's Zeus
Long
Sting
buck.
Bear over Generator Big Bear.
I know the Wilsons have had good luck out of the diesel. I guess they have a bunch of diesel daughters that they're breeding. Of course, they've always been proud of their Zeus Sting Bear stuff. So the Zeus Sting Bear over this generator's hard to complain about the pedigree for sure.
I have one of my best does in my herd has the Generator's Big Bear on the maternal side of her pedigree, so I don't really know much about the buck, but I know she's a dang good buck, and at least the top side of the dam looks very similar on her pedigree.
double
You
generator
got
in there.
Sting over generator Big Bear, over generator Big Bear, over Loverboy. That's a
Oh,
pretty stacked pedigree.
this is lot 8, lot 9. I like this guy, and I like the picture of him. Dr. Ann sent that, and I don't know that I've seen that picture of 2289. This is lot 9, 2 straws. Gotex 2289. One of the original
This sale's
guys.
the first time I've seen that pedigree. Or that picture, I mean.
Yeah, I think it was for me too.
Yep, I've never seen that picture before either.
Might have a new favorite of the 4 now.
Yeah, that was me.
He's stout.
I mean, compared, pretty similar, maybe. Just looking by the picture, maybe a little shorter, but pictures can be deceiving. Or, when I say shorter, I mean length of body.
Of the old guys, I think that he had the better rear end on him from his picture. Most of the older guys kind of thinner on the back end, and he looks pretty thick from front to back. I did see a buck sell at the Heritage out of 2289. I think Wayne Forsey had it. He was younger, I think right around 14, 15 months. No, I'm sorry, Seika sale. Seika sale wasn't the Heritage. Heritage not happened yet. Again, those are in Dr. Ann's tanks. Lot 9. Lot 10 is a young doeling. Mr. Slappy. Again, he can deliver it. It is Blues Bear, which is out of the blue, over a Horsefly Valley meat maker, which is out of E66.
Let us all see. There.
Sorry. Just holler at me. Young doe. 4 or 5 months old.
I'm pretty sure that meat maker buck on the dam side is the same cross, or almost the same cross as Achiever, who was top 10, I think number 2, Maryland Buck Test 2016. I know it's E66 and a Dylan Bear daughter. I don't know if it's that 11-12 doe or not, but the number seems familiar.
So young doe, an opportunity here. Lot 10. Lot 11. This is Webb Hammer Ginger 867. Kendall and Will, you want to talk about him?
His top selling buck at the Cream in 21, I believe, right, Kendall?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they bought him and used him and put a buck on Oklahoma, and pretty sure that buck won the test, or was it tied for first with 2 or 3 other consigners? And then Ginger's produced.
Yeah, that.
Yep, Ginger's produced Dominator, which won Maryland in 2016, and then she produced Riptide, who was on Maryland in 2015 and was second. So that doe's a solid production doe. Plus, Hammer. Everybody knows Hammer.
Probably one of the best tested does, and arguably maybe the best tested buck. I don't know.
Yeah,
Solid cross, regardless.
I had the doe out of this cross, and she produced a 15th overall fecal. I think it was West Virginia.
And also, I mean, fails to mention it's a little bit of line breeding on Hammer, because Ginger's a granddaughter, so that never hurts, in my opinion.
Lot 12, back to Vaquero, CGI Vaquero. 2 straws, stored at B&D.
I think he's like only one of 2 Shogun, maybe 3 Shogun sons that's ever been collected. So no Shogun was never collected.
Right. I'd like to see that buck in person. He's
I did.
a neat
I seen
looking
him.
creature.
He was old when I saw him. He's still pretty feisty fella.
He lived in my neck of the woods for a while, and you know, from what I heard from the couple of guys that owned him, just about an hour or so. One guy, the closest, probably 15 minutes from my house. Never heard he had any trouble, you know, making it around here in the southeast, and in his old age was definitely a good looking buck. And I know the guy who owned him before Christian and JD did, he finally got his pedigree straightened out. You may see some places he was only sire verified. He's actually parentage verified now in both registries, if I understand correctly. Somebody can fact check me on that one, but should be good to go as far as that.
I hadn't heard that, so I'm glad to hear. Because when I seen him, he was Sarah verified, and I'm glad they got.
He should be parentage verified. They did some backtrack. The best that I know. I mean, like I said, that's what I heard. So you know, I'll double check on that.
Lot 13, 2 straws of BWP Tufts Blue Whiskey. Copyright Tough over Speckles Ace, Rolling Meadows Ace, though. Ken, are you familiar with this? I mean, Will. I'm sorry, Will.
Give me 1 second.
I seen this buck when he was a baby at Wes's place. He was definitely an outlier, young buck.
I don't know much, honestly. I know Ace fired a top 10 buck at Maryland in 2016 from Jim and Angie Lou. Really nice buck that I'd honestly like to own, and Tough doesn't live too far away from me. I got to see him about 2 weeks ago, still doing great over at Colton Pritchett's house. So, you know, stacked pedigree as far as that's concerned.
Lot 14, note this other young Dolan, 4 months old. This is Slappy. Again, this is out of a meat maker's buck and a out of the blue doe.
He certainly brought some colored up goats.
Yep. Lot 15. GHK high voltage, 2 straws. Generator
The meteor.
Waco 139 daughter.
Good old deep buck.
He's deep. And sure has a good mama. I mean, everybody knows Generator, but he sure has a good mama too.
Money bag.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
how old
and
she
then
was. Old doe.
And in the picture there, people can see the top 10 buck he had at Maryland in 2014, I believe, was Ringleader, who went on to sire Lord knows how many top 10 fecal and ADG bucks and top 10 overalls at Maryland, or at possibly Maryland, I can't really remember, but I know at West Virginia and Oklahoma, and then sons of theirs siring top 10s. And one of my foundation does is a Ringleader doe that I've retained daughters and daughters of her daughters, so can definitely be some really good stuff for you.
Lot 16 is CLP Raging River Generator 243. Chris Patrick buck.
Looks like he's packing the meat
Yep.
and the hairdo.
Another deep body generator buck.
Generator with Sports Cat.
Sports Cat over Nick over Loverboy. That's pretty stacked pedigree.
Interesting package. Yep.
Lot 17. TMK Bosses Sport, 2 straws. Imprint Sun.
He'd have been the high selling buck at the cream. Holy cow. How long ago was that? 16?
Shoot. Can't remember what year that buck sold.
I think
Probably
it was
got Kellogg
2000.
or something.
Probably was. His birthday's 15, so probably 16.
Yeah.
He was a long buck.
I actually
Yeah.
have his sister producing well for me. Lot 18. MCR Rock Solid. Looks rock solid.
He does.
Iron Horse over Nick Daughter.
I'm pretty sure this buck produced some top performing bucks for Grant and Maryland before the end of it in 2016.
It's kind of a different. This buck should produce a lot of size. I mean, you got Iron Horse over Nick over Goldmine Heritage. That should be size over size over size.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Lot 19. Raising Cane.
Another buck that can produce some size.
Loverboy.
I've had a couple of does with Raising Cane in their pedigree, and I'll say they've always been hardy does, parasite resistant. Never had any issues in that department for sure.
Yeah, the kids out of those does really grow good.
Yep, I agree.
Lot 20. BWP Keeper's Goat. Keeper Son. Over Roland Meadoways.
We had this buck for a couple years. Bought him from Wes. He made some really, really good females. I mean, obviously the buck kids were nice and grew out good, but he's, as far as a doe maker, he done a good job making good does. Of course, he's a son of Keeper. Good buck.
Lot 21. GHK Jack Flash. 2689. Over Lab Nikita. Zorro Daughter. I don't know much about him.
Well, he was a part of a flush, but Dave Sparks and Ron Collette and Warren Barnes did years ago, and they used 2689, and they used 2289 and 6289. But I think the Nikita doe, she produced the most embryos out of any of the flushes they've done. I think about 20 some embryos. Pretty solid buck. I know Warren Barnes used the I don't remember if it was Jack Flash or the other one, Cracker Jack. I think Warren had Cracker Jack. He really liked the daughters he got out of him. Solid dose.
Another lot of 2 straws of a Raising Cane. Talked about him. If you want to see the consigners on these, just click on the contact tab. You can see who's consigned. And if you've got any questions, you can contact them if you need to. Lot 23, TLF Legend. Nick's son. A little gold mine doe.
Got a gold mine Esther. That goes in a lot of pedigrees.
I know Philip Winburn threw thought a lot of this book. Used him a lot.
Lot 24. Another lot of Keepers E117. Over June.
Not many June sons out there. I think just the 2 Keeper sons and Ryback. I think that's all I read. I have to go back and look. I kept all the
Not
does.
to take anything away from Keeper, but I mean, getting June that close in your herd could mean as much as any of the bucks that we've offered so far. Just for people that are wanting to build females, that proof's in the pudding there.
I do that. I look at the maternal side and I guess the buck second, but yeah, I chase the maternals a lot. Lot 25, Ironside. Iron Horse over a Rib Paula.
This is bad.
You say switch it back?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Ironside.
Joe Benson had this buck,
Do what?
I think.
Joe.
Didn't Joe Benson have him for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah. He made some nice kids for Joe. I remember when Joe was still in Oklahoma, I seen some of those babies. Kind of ahead of his time a little.
Don't see much of that Tay Joseph, even when Tay Joseph was alive yet so much.
Right.
Okay. Lot 26. Who's your daddy?
This
He's
is
a
another
fruit crop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another
yeah.
one that's exceptional dose. He's
Another
one of
one
those
what?
bucks. I said he's one of those bucks the does. I mean, the doe on this one is one of those solid does that you might select the buck just for the doe side, not even look at the sire side, even though it's Iron Horse. I mean,
Right.
that's one of those awesome does in the breed.
See, I agree with that.
I know a guy that lives not too far away from me. I talk to on a pretty regular basis that used some of this semen, and it was good and liked what he got out of it. And like Kendall said, I always hear something about Skybird Salsa P6. I know Wayne Sims has a lot of experience with her and a lot of Iron Horse stuff as well. And the only other thing I know about this buck is I think he was supposedly the smelliest goat ever. That's all I ever heard about him. Claim to fame.
I can attest to that. When when Yeti and Amber bought him from Mike Rennick and Lori, I was fortunate enough to be able to haul him back to Oklahoma for him, and there wasn't much room in that trailer for a big buck like him. And Yeti and I, neither one are what I would call small people, and it took all we had to get him out of my trailer and into his. That was one big, stinky rest.
I just know every time I see Skybird sausage, it just seems like they got the meat on them. The kids out of it. They just seem like they have a lot of meat to them.
If you can take
Skybird
that out
salt.
of the dough line too, that's a whole other thing.
I mean, I got some of this semen myself just for the fact that trying to get that Skybird salsa in my herd. So I got some of this semen myself.
Salsa and her sister lived their last years on our farm, and I can tell you they were very, very fun to look at. Those were two very nice Kiko does,
That time
regardless of color. Big meaty goats.
I did a AI doe with Who's Your Daddy for Jimmy Singleton. He's got a buck and a doe out of that cross. His doe was out of LCK Gremlin, which is out of Cold Steel and Tasman Toyo. I think, no, I'm sorry. Cold Steel is out of Iron Horse and Tasman Toyo.
Victoria's Secret.
Yep. He's really happy with them. He's so happy that he named one of them after Paige. He calls it Princess Paige. He calls the other one High Roller. So he's hung on to those.
So he named the doe after Paige and the buck after you.
I guess. Yeah. But they do look good. I've seen them, and they're some good looking kids. Lot 27, Teal Exceller.
This is the same cross as the Legend.
Yep.
I believe one's just a year older or something than the other one. Seller was a quad. I had a few does out of Seller that they're pretty solid does.
Were they horned?
Yep. He had horns. They just had them. The story I was told, he got tangled up in a fence and messed them up, so they sawed them off. So that's why it looks like
Gotcha.
he's hoed, but he
I always
actually
wondered
had
if
one.
he was popular or not. I didn't know.
Yep.
28 is another 2 lots of Raising Cane. Look back in. 29 is one of the old guys, 1489. So, Dr. Ann. Oh, that's a map. Matt Bowles put that one in there. 30, another lot of TMK Boston Sport. 31, CCR Cedric, Moneymaker Son.
That's the classic Moneymaker Generator cross.
That's what I was going to say that same thing. Of course, out of 17 sandalwood on the bottom.
Yep, those three were. I mean, that's what Sunset Place Kiko's pretty much produced was this combination of these three.
It's a majority of what the entire breed is built on, honestly, when you get down to it. I mean, how many times do you see, Nick and pedigrees, and he's just slide bred this, and then Blue Sun, Blue Boy, Blue Sun, and all that. I mean, it's foundation genetics of Kiko's for sure. Is Moneymaker Generator Sandalwood. And 22 is, I guess, the sister to 21, and I noticed Sunkist 21 a lot, at least for myself and majority of pedigrees.
Lot 32, SCR Brightwater Bear. Sesame Sun over a Onyx Bear goat. Sports caps on the bottom.
It's a pretty solid pedigree too, as far as well-known Kikos of the breed.
33. Another Keeper's Ghost lot. 34. JHK Jacks F4. I don't know him. You guys do?
I've
I
seen a
don't,
few
but I
of
like
his
it.
kids. Daryl Glover owned him for a while. He used to bring a few of his does and sell them at the cream. They're always pretty solid looking does.
Blue Sun over Iron Horse.
Blue Sun over double bred Onyx.
Line bred on it.
Yep. 35. WMD Mingo.
I remember when this buck sold at AKGA sale. I was poking Dana going, let me buy this buck. Let me buy this buck. And she said, you can't
Nope.
buy no buck. And then she
I'm sure
went to
glad you
California.
didn't.
Well, it'd been closer to you. You could have picked him up here whenever you went through. You still hadn't go to California.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have sold him.
I probably wouldn't.
Oh, that was a good find there. I called trying to buy straws on him, and I found out he was still alive, so we just bought the buck and shipped him from San Francisco back to Oklahoma. And he sure helped our program. We had several Mingo daughters that are doing a good job, and had several Mingo sons over the years that some are still doing a good job in other farms. But you want a tough one that will grow. His kids are tough, and the mamas sure know how to be mamas.
I'll tell you one funny side note real quick is I sat next to those people at my first ever Kiko sale at Cookeville in 2017, and they're from, like you said, Northern California. So the sheer fact that they just happened to be sitting right next to me and met them, they're awesome people, super nice people. But I just thought that was a funny little story.
Lot 36 is another lot of BWP Tuckers Blue Whiskey. 37 is another Ironside. 38 is a Keeper's Ghost. Lot 39 is SDR Poseidon's Sesame Bear. Sesame over.
I've seen kids sired by this buck. I've seen this buck advertised here and there on Facebook. Don't know anything about him, but I always thought he was a cool looking buck.
Colored up good.
I guess get a solid front end on it.
He does.
He's on 40.
I know the people that. Oh, go ahead, Andy. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I'm just gonna move on. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I know the people that own that buck, and they're super good people. If y'all had any questions about that lot, they'd be more than happy to help you out.
40. Keeper's E117 lot. Another Ironside. Purebred buck. Some Dr. Ann. A Sesame Sun. That's a purebred. Lot 43, 2689. Original guy.
They say this is the most parasite resistant of the four, but I don't know. Say it's all pretty tough.
44 is another purebred buck. It's the difference here is sting over Goats Unlimited. The other one's a sesame. I think Dr. Ann put these in there. I think anybody's commercial that is looking maybe for purebred, that might be a avenue for them.
There's some people that say the purebreds are better than New Zealand, so it may be a great opportunity.
About 45 is $14.89. Last final fours. 46 is another semen. I'm sorry, purebred. Did I go backwards? 47 is Tusk Blue Whiskey. Ah, here we go. When everybody's excited.
Best lot of
about.
the sale, ladies and gentlemen.
That
Here
is
we
it.
are.
This is
I've-
the one we
I've
said
been
back
looking-
off on. I bet this was the most parasite resistant goat in there. I bet it won't eat much.
And never needed any deworming or feed trimming.
That's right.
It will
Never need it.
I bet you could. It will eat like Cheeto crumbs and cracker crumbs. Probably, if you wanted to.
He's making them now.
They're going to we're fixing to quilt them.
Dana's gonna quilt them here soon, but I think she's got two different
Yeah,
color
Matt,
patterns and let them.
Is she going to do the announcement here?
She can't. You want to show them?
I mean, no. I mean
Oh.
I thought it was
Oh.
high bid gets picked. Is that true, Dana?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bidder gets choice.
Bidder gets choice.
There's a
Awesome.
darker one and an early one, I guess.
Everybody likes the darker one.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this lot.
If they haven't seen what they actually look like, I've got them on Facebook page, and you can share them. Again, the two that are those are just examples of ones I've done.
Nice.
I think
But they both
I'm
been
excited.
I also know people that have slept in the room where these are made, and they say it's just a magical aura there in the room. So it's probably it will just bless your life to purchase this lot if you're lucky enough to get it home.
Oh.
Are they quilted thick? Like, could you use them if you were riding a scooter and afraid you might fall down?
No, it ain't that.
I don't know how much. No, I don't think
They don't have. They don't have that much pango blood in them. They won't be that tough. Ow.
But yeah, I'm excited
Remember
about
what
this
you
lot.
say. They are carrying the CBK prefix.
Oh.
Okay. That was lot 48. Lot 49. This is Mr. Honcho.
He's been making a splash in the recent sales. His daughters have.
Yep, they have.
Big splash.
I was gonna say, I was at the MPI sale. What month and a half or so ago, and the high selling doe, I believe. There was the daughter of his, and you can tell a lot about a Kiko looking at her from the backside, and I was reading the catalog, so I got to look at her from the backside while she was looking at the crowd, and it was one of the biggest goats I have ever seen, biggest does I have ever seen in my life. Absolutely huge, and I've also seen pictures and videos from Lester and Stephanie, this guy, and he is an absolute meat wad of a buck.
I know probably all of y'all have some imprint in your pedigrees at home, but I'm a big fan of the imprint. They sure everything that I've had that or have that has imprint in it is long and thick with a back leg, like you were saying there, Scooter.
Okay. About 50. War Son. Warsaw. Beauregard's bear. I think they've had some nice does out of him as well.
Not until recently. There's just, I guess, people getting lucky with the Warsaw sons and daughters. But I know for a long time people was using semen, and either they must have been keeping it all for themselves. Not many people was letting them out. And they've been selling very well. And I know we got 2 or 3, 4 Warsaw sons out there.
I think
Yeah,
Brian
there's a
AI'd
few.
it. And then the Goodmans have used it. About 51. JJS Country Bear. Horsefly Valley over Country Smoke.
This is Smitty's breeding. JJ.
Yep, that is.
Solid looking book.
Dylan Bear is a solid part of Horsefly Valley genetics, and Mr. Yutzy's, had a lot of good goats. I know. One of my best does is a Horsefly Valley doe maker. A lot of daughters and granddaughters in my herd, out of her.
$52 scratch. Oh, well, that's scratch. Tango Hill Son.
That was a good Tango son out of the generator on. Very,
James
very
might
good
like
goat.
this story. When I was first getting into registered Kikos, Gary lived about 45 minutes south of me, and he did this flush with Pango and this generator bear doe, and a flush mate sister was one of the first does that I turned down to get into Kikos, and I bought a couple of does from James, and I bought a couple of those at Cookville. But I got to see Scratch and flush mates of his at the Richardson's farm, and they were all solid looking goats, top to bottom. Lord knows how much money, so you know, that's something in itself, the quality of just the genetics available to you.
Lot 53. JHK Black Hawk. A fiddler son over a QFK Lady Blackbird. QFK is Dr. Patel.
007 daughter on the bottom side. Used to be a lot of that stuff in your area.
There
Wrote
was.
Andy.
Yeah, that's the reason I was familiar with Dr. Patel. The QFK, which was like 20 minutes from here. And Dad had a lot of it in his stuff. '54. TNK Terminators T2. Miss Wonder over Terminator 3.
Another line bred Terminator
Yep.
with keeper on the bottom.
'55. CBK Pango's Hammer.
That's a flush make this Nook and Hammerhead. And the Doa lost.
June 2. '56. Yeah, Rook. CBK Rook. A Rygar.
That Rhaegar buck was number 2 buck in West Virginia in 2017. I think Chappie used to own the sister to this buck one time.
I did, and he was a great doe. Some neurologic issue. I don't really know what happened, but one year she had my best doe and best doe kid from that year, and she had extra teats, so I had to sell her commercial. And then another year, one of her best buck kids. I can't remember what happened then, but it was unfortunate circumstances for a wonderful doe. And I honestly tried to buy that Rhaegar buck, and I never got a straight answer on whatever happened to him. But yeah, that was a very solid line.
'57. Mr. Fiddler. Picture's blurry. But the pedigree's clear. Lover boy over Waco 139.
This is another one of those bucks that it really doesn't matter. Not taking anything away from Loverboy, but it doesn't matter who the sire is. If you got a mama like that, you probably need to use this buck, son.
Lot 58. Mr. Outlaw. One of the most tested bucks out there, I guess. With cottages. Sunny Boy over Sapphire.
Yeah. Sunny Boy over Goldmine here, or over Imprint over Nelly One. It's just hard to, in my opinion, that's a hard one to beat.
It works. Lot 59. CVK Painted Black. Looks like they did.
It's a Mingo son. His mama I sold to Jarrett Dennison, and he went on, and Bret Hart's Big Sam, which produced his Maryland's Ultimate Warrior buck that I think was tested in 16. He had the he was a top 10 buck, but he had also had the highest ADG on the test that year.
I didn't realize Ultimate Warrior was out of the same mama as Painted Black.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure.
That's good. That's why we have you here.
Sometimes I'm wrong, but Dan will tell you it's not very often.
I bet she will.
60 is TMK Apache Samson. Apache Loverboy over Rake Eve.
That Eve doe is
That's
another
a-
one of them old good does.
Also, it's
Hard
another
to
one
beat.
of them. It doesn't matter who the sire is. These straws are worth it just because of his mama.
'61. SMK Blues Iron. Workhorse over Generator's Big Bear. Familiar with Workhorse does. That's Darla doe was out of Workhorse. I've got a doe here in production out of Workhorse. Iron horse over
That's
Generator.
pretty solid pedigree.
Yep.
Sports Cat, Generator, Nick a couple times, Blue Sun, Iron Horse. I mean that workhorse, in my opinion, may be one. It's probably top 5 Iron Horse on that, in my opinion.
Yep. I agree.
I had a workhorse daughter. She was actually line bred iron horse. And I still have, I retained some daughters, still have one daughter, have some granddaughters of them. So yeah, it's workhorse definitely very solid iron horse line in my opinion as well.
Lot 62. Kit Carson. Golden Boy.
That's a meaty
Golden
animal.
Heritage. It is. Always wanted to try
Not
this.
much of that. I said there's not a whole lot of this available just by
One of the few sons
Wow.
of Golden Boy you can get treatment on.
right. I don't.
Being out
I
of
mean,
the
I
daughter,
know. I can't remember the other ones that what they're crossed with on the bottom side, but you start a lot of those Golden Boy sons are either out of Carolyn or Big Gal or something like that. So,
yes. Evidently, it worked.
Yep.
And what a lot of people don't realize is you look at Golden Boy's pedigree, and he's very, very similar to Blue Sun. He's,
No, he's pretty, yeah. Same thing.
Lot 63. Mr. Bugfree. Gal Browser.
Chap-
over
Chapman
Gal.
should know something about this. He knows
Yeah,
how he tastes and everything.
I owned this buck for a very short time. Unfortunately, lost him due to an injury from another buck. As early on as I was in my breeding program, he definitely changed a lot of things for me. I still have a son out of him that placed very well on the West Virginia test in 2020 that is continuing to do similar things that he did in my herd. And I know this semen used to sell at a very affordable rate, but don't be hesitant to spend a little extra on it. It's worth the money. You know, that's my personal experience. If you'd like to know anything else, feel free to give me a call. Won't drag it out here.
Thank you, Will.
100 or better Herschel babies, and they're just consistently super stout. Maybe not as long-legged as some would like, but they're thick, stout based, and the mothers are really good mamas.
Thank you, James.
There's not a whole.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
they the rest of